John Barry working with ESPN Radio. Game 2 last night in Golden State. John joins us now. What did you think when Golden State was down 15 at halftime?
I thought the Warriors were in trouble. They were being outplayed. Basically, Portland was just playing harder. Obviously, when you win a game 1 and you win it rather handily, that second game, that team's going to come back a lot hungrier, make some adjustments, and play harder. And I really thought the Warriors would be ready for it, and they weren't.
Was the Warriors' comeback inevitable, though?
Well, they're going to. Every team's going to make a run. How quick they did it was amazing. I mean, and it happens on the defensive end. You always think, when a team gets down 17, 20 points, you got to score points, but you got to stop them. And their defense went to a championship level. Draymond Green is an incredible defender. They trapped the ball last night so hard. Their rotations were there, and then they got on the boards. And they just played harder than Portland, and down 17, they found a way to get it done.
Yeah, and Golden State dominated inside. You don't hear that very often, but if Portland's going to concentrate on the perimeter, they better keep an eye on the paint because, well, I guess it's pick your poison a little bit here. Did you feel that way in the second half?
Well, yeah, look, they get 25 second chance points to the Warriors, and they shoot over 51%. So that you can't possibly win a game by giving up those kind of numbers. Now, obviously, we all talked about the pick and roll coverage on Steph Curry after game 1. They sagged the big and they let him get 5 or 7 uncontested 3-point shots. So they changed it up. They did some double teaming. It was good at times, but a lot of times he split and got into the lane. And then when you're running 2 on the ball, it's very difficult to be in the proper rebounding position. So they gave up a bunch of offensive boards, second chance points, and look, that was a championship team that found a way to win a game that they probably shouldn't have won because they were outplayed for the better part of it.
Yeah, Steve Kerr said that they stole that game. Now the series goes to Portland. Is this a foregone conclusion?
No, I don't think so. I think what you saw in that first half, Portland's certainly capable of being a team that can give this team fits. Klay Thompson's not shooting the ball that great right now. Damian Lillard yet to really get going. He's having a hard time finding any open looks. The Warriors doing a really good job with him taking the ball out of his hands and making a crowd that he can't drive in. Portland can play a lot better. And that being said, they were down 6 in game 1 to start the fourth quarter. They're up 8 with 3.5 to go in game 2 on the road. So, no, I think they should feel pretty confident that they can go up to Portland and hold serve.
He's John Barry. He called games 1 and 2 on ESPN Radio for the Mothership, former NBA player. Speaking of which, you spent, I think, 14 years in the NBA. How many years did your brother, Brent, play in the NBA?
I think he got 14 as well.
Would you rather play against your brother or with your brother?
Oh, God, against. With. By the way, and no franchise could handle the both of us on one team. We wound up going through Houston. Actually, my dad, Brent, and I, which is shocking that they wanted to take 3 of us on. But we never played in any playoff games, a lot of regular season games. And I found it difficult looking over at him as we're playing. You could kind of sense sometimes in the crowd that people are murmuring because they know 2 brothers are going at it. I sensed that last night when Seth and Steph matched up a few times. But I see a lot of similarities between the 2 of them and us that, Steph is a lot like Brent and Seth is more like me. And although I'm older than Brent, I think Brent's got more of a soft spot than I do, and Steph has more of a soft spot than Seth. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think that Seth played really well last night, and
right.
he had 4 steals on his brother. But you're right; I think Steph looks like he has a soft spot. He looks like he's just a nice guy, but there is that killer instinct in him that comes out.
Yeah, he's not afraid to tear the hurt out either. And why this guy gets any criticism, I don't know. I mean, he's as dynamic a guy that I can ever remember. He is so much fun to watch, and he's the Warrior system. I know Kevin Durant might be the greatest offensive player that we've seen, but Steph Curry is the system of the Golden State Warriors.
Do the Warriors miss Durant?
I think so. I think they're a different team with him. I mean, he's such a luxury on the offensive end when things aren't going well. He's a guy that can go get his own shot regardless of what defense is being deployed. So I'm not going to say their offense is better or worse because they're still scoring points without him. It's just different. And he's more of an isolation player, and when he's not there, they're going to move the basketball a lot more. And if you took every offense, the best player offensively off every team in the NBA, their offense is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
And then the Warriors are no different.
Do you think the Warriors can win the title without KD?
I think don't be surprised if he doesn't play the rest of the year, just based on what I'm hearing. I think Milwaukee's going to get through Toronto. I think it's going to be a tough series, but I think they're going to get through. And I think Milwaukee could legitimately beat the Warriors without Durant.
Any other news out there? I didn't know if you had reaction to what's gone on with Zion and the lottery and going to New Orleans and Anthony Davis, where he's headed.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I hope Zion, doesn't make a power play here to start his career and say I'm not going to New Orleans and just hey, that's where you got that's where the balls fell and you got to go there. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see if David Griffin can get Anthony Davis to stay in New Orleans. I mean, that'd be a dynamic duo, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever have a better teammate than Zion Williamson.
Well, I don't know how he's going to, what he's going to look like in the NBA, but I love Drew Holiday. I think he's terrific. And I think it'd be interesting. And maybe the damage is done. Anthony Davis has got to go, but it sure will be a fun 3-4 combo or whatever we want to call them.
And people think I'm crazy when I make this comparison. I said, stop comparing Zion to LeBron or Charles Barkley. He might be a left-handed Blake Griffin when it's all said and done. Blake came in as a dynamic dunker. We didn't know about his jumper. And I said, if he could put up 25 and 12 a night, people might be disappointed in that, but that's what Blake does. And so I don't know what the expectation level is going to be for Zion, but if you could plug in 25 and 12 for the next 8 years like Blake has, that's a pretty good career, John.
Yeah, no, that's a good analogy with Blake Griffin. I didn't really think about him. His playmaking ability is sensational, and I mean, why can't Zion just be Zion? We always have to compare people.
Yeah.
He doesn't shoot it great. He doesn't shoot it that poorly, and he's going to have time to shoot it. If you put a big guy on him, that big guy is going to have to play 6 feet off of him if he wants to have any chance to stay in front of him. So he's going to have mismatches basically every single night, and just let it transpire. I want to see the guy's. He's a one of a kind.
I also wondered about this, John. We talk about does he want to be in New Orleans? If he had been, if the Knicks won the lottery, there was a chance they were going to trade him to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. He may have ended up in New Orleans no matter what.
That's absolutely true. I don't think that the Knicks could have pulled off an Anthony Davis trade. They just don't have the pieces. But, yeah, I mean, the NBA now is July 1st. That it's like, who cares about the finals and the playoffs? Let's just get to July 1. Where is LeBron going? Where's KD and Kyrie? Are they going to join up in New York? I mean, it's like watching the Kardashians. It's a joke.
Hey, good to visit with you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being a gamer, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you, bud. That's John Barry, the mothership. He took a red eye last night from Golden State to Atlanta and then joined us before he went to bed. So glad John, being a gamer there, joining us.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.